Hi Scorpio, happy May. I hope you're doing well. This is the third time I'm trying to record your video. The camera really just keeps going blank, and this camera is not, to the best of my knowledge, there's nothing wrong with it. So we shall try it again. If it conks out this time, I'm going to let it pass. Okay, this is just a snippet for May because the energies are so insane. I'm trying to get ahead of things that you may just want to avoid for May. Table if possible. If you've got disagreements in current relationships or if you're working through things, really don't get engaged in things that you can't take back. It may be the demise of something that on a normal month you might have a little bit more leeway, but this would, most likely not be a great month to have something come back together. You know what I'm saying? So that's the real reason I'm doing this. I'm not a big fan of love readings because I think that what comes up in a normal monthly read includes that if it's meant to be. So, but this really is to just get ahead of what's going on because I'm inundated with exactly these kind of readings, things that just, I didn't mean it. I didn't mean to say it, but the person now just doesn't even want anything to. It's just a month where we can't really, anyhow, here's the deal. If you are in a current relationship or not in a current relationship, these are for singles and couples. Okay, if you're not in a relationship, this is potentially what's coming down the pike for you. I would pay close attention, I feel, to this one particularly if you are not in a relationship, because you may want to look at some things in your singleness before you pull a relationship in, because if this is what you're going to be pulling in, you definitely want to take a look at some things, okay? A lot of times we don't realize that we are not emotionally available. We just don't. And until we start to see a pattern in relationships where the people that we are dating or really falling for really just disappoint, right? But it could be, if that's the case, somehow they're mirroring back something. Not always, okay? But it could be something like that in here. Now, you come in as the first card. Your partner or potential partner is the second card. The karmic lesson in this particular situation here is the third card, and the overall experience, the karmic experience. Like if you were to look back on this point in time in 50 years and say, yeah, that was the lesson in that relationship at that point in time. And that's, it made me, realize certain things, a better person. It made me grow in some regard overall, right? So that's what this is about. Now you come in as the King of Swords. Your partner or potential partner is the Six of Swords. The immediate karmic lesson in all of this, why it's occurring, is the King of Wands. So you've got two kings in here. They can be male or female, but these are the more masculine energies. So if these are women, they would be more masculine women, energy-wise. Now, the big overall karmic lesson in this is the Six of Coins in reverse. Okay, now the clarifiers, we've got meaninglessness, flow, trap, and sexuality. What I feel is happening here is, ironically, you and your partner or potential partner, you're absolutely mirroring each other. You're just doing it in different ways. You know what I mean? So not everyone does things the same way, but ironically, if this is not a potential partner, you're going to meet someone that's going to mirror exactly what you're going through. If you're in a current relationship, your partner may be doing things in a different way, but you two are both absolutely feeding off of each other, and you're both mentally and emotionally detached, okay? I think you may have had, over a course of time, just disappointment after disappointment after disappointment, right? That things just really just become unconsciously meaningless, right? We're going through the motions, but we're really just not into it, right? Now your partner there, I think that they go with the flow, yes, but I think that what they're trying to gain here is overall knowledge of a situation, of their own situation. But I think that there's a difference between going with the flow and really trying to, call a ceasefire, take a time out, go take some time to yourself and try to figure this out. I think that that's great. But if that's not what you're doing and you're going with the flow, in other words, I'm not going to pay attention to this, I'm going to just let it go and it'll play itself out. That's really not going with the flow. That's kind of like turning a blind eye, which is not going to help the situation. Now, the immediate situation here, the King of Wands with the Trap card, I think that this is, ironically, the lesson in this is somehow, how do I say this? We seem to be supportive sometimes, but I think that this person may not be reliable. You know what I mean? So I think that it's do you really show up for yourself? Do you show up for these relationships? Or do you set yourself up for yet, you know, another trap in here where it's just not, you know, I'm just not happy. I'm not fulfilled. And that's what I kind of think it is. I don't think it's really great. I think you've just really maybe gone through a series of disappointments, and I don't think that things are really working out here. I think the big overall lesson here with that Six of Coins in reverse is that you're just not balanced. You're not, you know, you're either not dating people that are going the same way you are, or there's just an imbalance in give and take. Or the main takeaway from that, since it's the bigger lesson here, is that, you know, mind, body, soul, you're not thinking clearly, and you're not, it's kind of like the 5. You may put expectations on things, you know what I mean? And it may go really, really, really wrong here, because the sexuality card is enjoyment in life on the upswing, right? But I think they come in moments in time. I don't think overall that's the case here. I think that this has a very, very, how do I say? It could turn into things that they just become very, very obsessive. You know what I mean? Like a false sense of entitlement. They become very, very, they can turn into a real Platonian kind of relationship, right? Which they're just not, it's not love. It becomes obsession. You know what I mean? Because I'd rather be with someone than by myself. And it's very, very dysfunctional. So again, that's what I kind of think is going on here. So I would just think about these things. I would not do anything about them right now. But I would seriously look at this and why you think you don't deserve a give and take relationship. You know what I mean? If you're not giving your all to it, you're going to accept people that aren't giving their all to it either, which is going to turn into exactly this, right? It's going to turn into, you know what I mean? This can turn into something very, very, you know, friends with benefits kind of deal that becomes obsessionist kind of. It just doesn't have a really good flavor to it, to be honest with you. So again, let's just table things. This is not a great time for relationships now. If you're not in one, maybe just dating here and there. But again, I'd be careful, because this has, you know, if it's not you doing it, you're attracting people that are becoming really, really obsessive, you know. So there you go. I hope that I helped you in some way.